Agent Romanoff. You miss me?
Oh yeah, Charles, we got ourselves an X-Men fan.
Captain.
Your Highness.
Captain, big fan, Spider-Man.
Hey guys, and welcome to Film Artsy, your number one source for all things films and movies. And over the course of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, we've seen some really awesome and unique storytelling through the years that the MCU has existed. However, sometimes actors that play the roles of characters don't necessarily like some of the plot decisions, story moments, or scenes that they have to shoot, and something somewhat uncomfortable for them. So today we wanted to take a look at some of the scenes that Marvel actors really didn't enjoy shooting and maybe even regret filming along the way. So let's go ahead and jump into this. First up, we've actually seen in interviews where actors Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans talked a little bit about how difficult filming Captain America Civil War was for both of them because they were filming in the Atlanta heat, which was extremely high. Now, while Robert Downey Jr. has joked that he didn't have as much of an involvement in some of the scenes since a lot of the time he's in his suit and only had to film the out-of-suit stuff, it seems like Chris Evans wasn't so lucky as he has to do all of the scenes in his suit, and when they're filming in the hot heat, especially in Atlanta of all places, it's probably not the most fun situation to try to be in.
Amount of action that you perform. I do a little. I got a couple moments.
You do. I've seen it.
But I really just wanted to come to set on my days off and watch you suffer.
It's
So
tough.
you worked a lot more.
Another actor that is often forgotten exists in the Marvel Cinematic Universe is definitely Zachary Levi, who now plays Shazam in the DCEU. But originally he played the character Fandral in the Thor trilogy, and even has a small role in Thor Ragnarok, though it seems like he was swiftly killed off in that movie to kind of clean up the cast of characters for Thor's universe. And while Zachary Levi seems to be a really good sport about it, he has talked a lot in various interviews about how he did wish he had more of an involvement in the MCU and how they kind of just did his character a little bit dirty in that third movie. But nonetheless, he's lighthearted about it and seems to kind of make it a fun conversation, even though he probably wasn't too happy with how his character was treated, especially in that third movie, just quickly getting killed. Another actor, Edward Norton, who was originally cast to play as the Incredible Hulk in the Incredible Hulk movie that technically was one of the first movies in the MCU all the way back in 2008, he was not at all happy with how that movie turned out. And matter of fact, a lot of reports have come out that he was difficult to work with during the production of the movie. He's later gone on record saying that he just wanted the movie to be good. However, it seems like he wasn't too proud of how that movie turned out, and he later was recasted by Mark Ruffalo in 2012's Avengers. Now, Chris Hemsworth is another actor who kind of has served as a major cornerstone of the Marvel Cinematic Universe for a long time for his role in Thor. Though, when he was talking about the upcoming movie at the time, Thor Ragnarok, he did talk a bit about how when filming the second movie in the Thor trilogy, Thor the Dark World, he really didn't like the parts in the script where they wanted his character to be shirtless, because in a way he felt like it wasn't integral to the story and more was a form of just objectifying him and his character. And one thing he really loved about the script for Thor Ragnarok was that initially there was no scenes like this put into the movie, and he really just loved the tonal change that was happening after Taika Waititi jumped on board, and it seems like that trend is continuing on with the newer movies and the newer appearances that Thor has been in so far, as Chris Hemsworth in his interviews has seen a very dramatic shift in how he tonally approached talking about the future of the MCU before Thor Ragnarok and after Thor Ragnarok. And it's something really cool to see that there's been some positive changes to make this actor feel more comfortable. Another really interesting scene actually comes out of Avengers Infinity War, but Josh Brolin, who played Thanos in the MCU, talked a bit about how it was very uncomfortable to film the scene where he killed Loki, which is played by Tom Hiddleston, and he said in an interview that it was actually very uncomfortable because Tom Hiddleston as an actor was so vulnerable in that moment, and it definitely wasn't the most fun scene to film, though it did end up being a very emotional part of the film once it finally released. Then it also appears that Idris Elba, one of the actors from the Thor trilogy and the larger Marvel Cinematic Universe, was really frustrated with a lot of the filming that went into playing the character Heimdall throughout the course of this overall movie series. And he's gone in interviews talking about how when doing reshoots for Thor: The Dark World, he's described it as being absolute torture, talking about how he had just gotten back from a trip filming the movie Mandela and was feeling really good about how that movie turned out. Then all of a sudden, he was filmed falling out of a spaceship and they had to put him in a harness in front of a green screen and they had to glue all this hair on him, and it was just a reset of scene after reset. And he really didn't seem to like the movie, on top of the fact he had to have these contact lenses with everything else that was going on, and he had the sword and everything else. It is funny to hear his explanation of how all this stuff went down when they filmed it, and though he did return for both Thor Ragnarok and Avengers Infinity War, it's not too surprising he might be happier not having to play this character anymore. So what do you guys think of some of these moments that these actors regret? Do you agree with their reasoning? Let us know in the comments down below. Be sure to subscribe with notifications on for more videos like this, and we'll see you all next time with a brand new video.
I'm about to.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, everybody. How you doing?
I don't
See you guys.
know anybody.